We're shedding our masks and breaking down walls. Hell, we may even drop our drawers. That's right. We're going commando with Angela and Dana. Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is Angela Gamarco, and we are going commando. Angela, how you doing today?
Good morning, Dana. How you doing?
I'm good. You know, on Going Commando, we just take advantage of the fact that we do what we want and we say what we want, regardless of the consequences, because this brand of authenticity is really the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it does, because it's there's all this talk of AI and Chat GPT and all this stuff that's like
I don't know what that means. I don't know what those words are.
I know. Because they're fake. It's artificial intelligence. Okay. It's all these people, and they're wondering if the validity and virtual reality and blah blah blah.
Okay.
Right now, authenticity in the human person and in the human spirit is the most important thing out of all of it. Because if we lose that, then yes, all of the robots will take over, and we'll be in an apocalypse.
So good morning. So Angela and I, we take advantage of the fact that I shouldn't say take advantage of the fact, we revel in the fact that we've never had filters. So we have never really kind of held back, like even have been accused of the overshare, but now evidently it's in vogue.
Oh my God, we're so hip.
Oh my God, I should have worn my trendsetter shirt. We're trendsetters. So
we're honest. Yeah. So every Monday morning, Dana and I, usually because we're running businesses together, and we don't talk over the weekend because we try to be like, focus on the family,
Wow.
And then because we don't talk every day, Monday mornings are usually full of conversations. So we just thought, you know what, let's record them for the nice people out there so you can see our stupid audacity.
For posterity, if you will. And so on Going Commando, we decided I have a deck of Soul Traveler cards that I created with Ann Marie Skordy, a very dear friend of ours, author, trans channel, all around good gal. And they're all her channeled messages with my artwork. And they're really a fan favorite, like of all the stuff that I sell in the shop. Like all I have to do is read one card to somebody and I'm like, oh my God, I want this. So they're great conversation starters. They're awesome prompts for like meditation or journaling and stuff like that. But they're really, really cool. And what's even cooler about them is, and I talked about this in our last episode, is that I see them all the time. I read them all the time. Again, I've edited them. We've done a second edition of them. So I've seen them over and over again. And every time I pick one up, it's almost like the first time I've ever seen it. Because with every experience I have creating a new awareness for me, I see the card differently. It's like when you watch a movie a billion times and then you don't see it in 5 years and then you're like, oh, really, really cool stuff. Yeah. So I pulled a card for us this morning, and Angela doesn't know what I don't know
yet. What it is. I don't know yet.
But I do think that it's going to speak to you, Angela. Okay. So that's Blossom. Baby. Okay. The card is called Failure.
I just got like a little like, oh shit.
I love it. Okay. Failure is fear. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is another false belief perpetuated by society's indoctrination. I'll just give that a second to sink in. For what you have been taught to see as failure is actually growth. All experiences, whether perceived negatively or positively, are growth. These experiences allow you to move forward. Fear of failure, wait for it. Fear of failure restricts creativity, restricts momentum to progress. Attempt a new perspective. Instead of thinking, what will happen if I fail? Try thinking, what will happen if I grow? That's for you, Buttercup. So, questions, comments?
Well, we should record every conversation that we have, because if people heard what we went through on Friday, what you went through with me, they would be realizing why I want to tell you to fuck off right now.
I pulled it and I was like, okay. And you know what? Before, I'm going to give you a second to collect your thoughts before we move further. So last episode, I was drinking out of this cup, right? We commented that it was lucky, and I made a joke about going to the website. Joke, still funny. Go to the website. But I didn't read to you what was on the back. Okay. So I take for granted all these messages, all these pictures, because I'm immersed in them. I see them all the time. So I pulled the card and I had a laugh, and then I picked up my tea to drink, and let's just take a look. Sorry. Success comes from the heart. When you are who you are, without pretense, without disguise, that is true success. When you accept yourself completely, the rest will follow.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm laughing because, so let's stretch. Let's get in there. Okay. This one's a doozy. Hey, authenticity. Woo!
Go Commando.
Oh, God. So Friday, I lost sight of my purpose. I lost sight of everything. I got caught up in my failures, and everything that seemed like a viable option for my situation. Let's just try this, do this, whatever. And when I'm in my space of like empowerment and purpose and creativity, those all seem like wonderful ideas. When I'm in my space of failing and fear and like just getting down on myself and not being where I am, everything seems like impossible or a roadblock or it's a detriment. And I was in it. I was in in it deep on Friday, and it didn't feel good. That's definitely what she said.
It didn't feel good. And, you're pretty brave that you're willing to talk about this openly and videoed nonetheless. Many of us live in denial that we even go through this, but we all go through it. We go through, and it's funny because if you look back, if we kept graphs, like, I don't know what they're called, like when you make spots and you draw the lines, there's a specific name for them, but if charts, graphs, whatever, we kept a graph of our state of being from day to day.
Yes.
It would look like this, right? Sometimes you get a little plateau, right? But it would essentially look like this. And we forget, like, I make it a practice that when I'm having a good day, really good day, exceptionally good day, right? Had one of those with my kids yesterday. Like, everybody's cute, and everybody's fun, and everybody's getting along. And you have this exceptionally good day. And I always stop and breathe and take stock because I understand the ephemeral nature of everything. So if I'm having this wonderful day, I want to be in it and enjoy it and not think about tomorrow and not think about yesterday because I know essentially that day is fleeting. Yeah. Well, the same goes for when we're in a shitty space. So the next day when something shitty is going down, right, I have to take a breath, step back, and understand that this is this moment right now. This is fleeting. What can I do in this moment to feel better? Now, once we're there, right, you don't argue with a drunk. You don't argue with an angry person. You don't argue with a stupid person. You just can't because it's irrational. So when you're in that place of irrational, the sooner you start to detect that you're approaching irrational, the easier it is to stop the train. Yeah. Once you're in the tizzy, you're screwed. And that's the beauty of having friends. It'll take you, shake you, and bitch slap you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you learn how to regulate that, once you learn how to revel in and celebrate when it's good and understand that it's fleeting when it's not and just kind of breathe through it and try to come up with steps moving in the direction where you want to be, this goes longer up here, shorter down here, longer up here, shorter down here. You get yourself back into alignment much quicker. And that's what we spoke about. That's why there's never any judgment because we all go through it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was I don't think definitely those moments of like where I was on Friday, they have been fewer and far between. You know, they were
Of
definitely, there
course.
were a lot more phone calls of me like crying in my soup to you, like, and everything's like, and you being like, okay, okay. So I'm so grateful that I have you to call for this, right? Because I think you even called me. Like, I think
I did. I felt it. I didn't tell
yeah,
you at the time, but when I called you and you were like, wah, wah, I was like, I knew it because you know how it is with people, like with your people that you're close with, especially even people that you're not, like in a text.
yeah.
Even though they say people misread texts all the time, you can feel it. You
Oh
could
yeah.
feel when somebody takes like 60 seconds to get back to you instead of 30. You're like, what are they thinking about? Like you could, and the better you know somebody, you could sense it. And your text responses were an
I'm
alert.
pretty sure. I think I pretty much said like everything fucking sucks. This all sucks. This all sucks. I'm pretty sure I was there.
I
But
don't know if it was that blatant, but it was enough that I picked up the phone for sure.
everything
We're all
sucks.
going to die.
It was bad. It was bad. And I didn't even notice the trip up. You know, like in hindsight, when I was looking back, I could see the moment where my foundation was cracked and where that started. But I didn't recognize it because it was something that I wasn't even that familiar with. So like, cause it's just, you know, constantly growing and changing and whatever. It was just another evolution of my fear, right? I'm in a different spot now. And I think that getting caught up in the tizzy of it all and then just like taking like stopping. Like I think you had to tell me what to do. This reminds me of like my AA days when I would have to call my sponsor and be like, I want to drink today. I don't know what to do. And she'd be like, okay, well go take a shower and then call me. And then we get out of the shower and then okay, now what do you want to do? I don't know, have breakfast. I'm hungry. All right, go have breakfast and then call me. Oh, okay. Because I know my decisions in those moments are not to be trusted, right? You know, it's just like there's nothing good that can come of it. The thinking is just so irrational. And even at one point, you were like, "I'm not saying anything because you're not ready to hear it. Like you just can't hear it." And I totally heard you on that. I was not like, "Fuck you, Dana." I was like, "Yes, I don't want to hear what you have to say right now because I want to be pissed. I want to be angry." I'm like sitting in my
you
dirty
started
diaper.
you started to sputter out. Like I could feel you would like stop and I could tell like you were kind of waiting for me and I would just be quiet, which is unusual for me. And and I always joke about a lot of these like woo-woo-ish terms, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm holding space, you know? So, but I was quiet and then you would like, I could feel the breath and then you would start again. And then I had to let you know I'm purposely not saying anything. And then finally you're like, okay, like you sputtered out and you were like, all right, I'm ready. Go ahead. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh God. And you know what? It was all a matter of perception for me. It
It's all
was,
it
you
ever is
know,
for anybody, Angela.
that's yeah, but so okay, cool, great, everybody. It's just a matter of perception because so I'm gonna be honest about this. I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I was
Oh, take your pants
afraid.
off. Take your pants off. Take your
Oh,
pants off.
already off, girl. Already off.
All right, go
Um,
ahead.
so my thing was the business is just taking its time to do its thing, right?
Which
And
business? Because you have a few.
I do have a few. Find Uniquely You, you know, we pivoted and now we're kind of like letting it do its thing, and I'm doing my thing with New Chip, and I'm just like it's just like there, right? And everything's perfect about it, like it's going the way it's supposed to go because it's where it's supposed to be. But my personal bank account is like
Wah,
cobwebs
wah,
and
cobwebs, crickets,
moths flying out, you know?
tumbleweed.
And I got really, really scared. I got really scared because I've never been in this position before. I've
Mhm.
always found a way to make money. Always that. And my husband is amazing and he's doing the best, but he's stressed out, which is stressing me out. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. I can't. Like, I'm at that point. I was at the breaking point. And just fear, fear, fear. And I have another business where I do like graphic design and websites. I'm actually really good at it. But I had this fear of like letting people know I'm available for freelance because I didn't want to seem like a failure in the other business. And you said it's not a failure. It's you're just breathing life back into that business and letting this business do its thing. And my perception of the whole thing was people are going to think I fail if I ask for freelance work.
And to
And
what? How did I respond to that? For Going Commando, how did I respond to people are going to think I failed?
who gives a fuck?
Who fucking cares? because I'm very erudite and eloquent. But anyway, go on.
Nobody dies. Nobody dies.
Nobody
Yeah.
dies. Nobody cares. And the question was, what do you want?
Right. And I want to be creative. I want to be self-sustained. I want to be happy. I want everybody to be happy, well, safe, and whole in my life. And
but Betty down the street is judging you.
fuck
Fucking
Betty.
cares.
No real Betty is mentioned.
No real Betty. Making Betty up. Disclaimer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the only name I could think of somebody we didn't know. I'm like, no, we know one of those. We know one of those.
Yeah, no, and in my rational state of mind, of course, it doesn't matter. Of course, it doesn't matter. Of course, I have a talent and a gift for freelance work, like for designing and branding. Why wouldn't I try to do that in the meantime? Like, why wouldn't I bring that life instead of going to throwing the towel in, getting a resume together, getting a job? Like, I don't want to do that. I need money, but I don't want to do that. I like being sovereign and creative and working with amazing people like you every day. And that could happen in any avenue. So it was my perspective. And I was like, whoa. And then it kind of like gave me a cane to like lean on. I was just like, oh, okay.
You know, it's a really, really valuable lesson, and it's worth being reiterated. You know, you asked yourself when you got clarity. You know what I mean? Because we're all going to freak out. We all get disease from time to time. You know, I thought I had lost something, a really important document on the computer yesterday, and I acted like a 4-year-old. And I knew in the acting like the 4-year-old, like I understood that I was acting like a 4-year-old. And then when my husband tried to help, I totally was like 3 or 2 years old. Like I immediately would go like, wah, right? And I understood once I took a breath, and in my freak out, once I took a breath, I was able to see with clarity. But the one thing, I digress. It was embarrassing, but and I found my document. Of course, he was like, Anyway, back to this. Yeah, totally. He's like, I don't want to tell you, but I know you've written books about this. And I was like,
so much.
have you checked chapter 3? And I'm just like, oh my God, suck it. All right. So back to this. One thing, once we gain the clarity, and sometimes it takes a little freak out, right? Take a little breather. We got to be aware of ourselves, aware of our freak out. Don't make any rash decisions. Take a step back and take time to like really process and become logical again. But the one thing that we neglect to ask ourselves is, what do I want? Like we forget somewhere along the line, we have been conditioned to think that we can't have what we want. Like some of us, many of us believe like, but we have to struggle, right? I mean, I've had that argument with you more than once. You're like, but I have to worry about, like, you don't have to worry about shit. Nobody says worry has to be a part of the equation, right? What do I want? And when you stop and you're like, what do I want? Well, I want to be able to be creative and I want to make money doing it. Well, when you're checking analytics and you're freaking out, are you doing what you want? No. So do what you want. And it's amazing. And I just want to segue really quickly into this one, right? Because we all, when you say success, we all get an image, right, of what success looks like. Many of us see dollar signs. Some of us see celebrity, right? Whatever it is, right? But success it's everybody's got a different definition for it. But listen again what success means. My new contact. I can see it. Success comes from the heart, right? So authenticity. Success comes from being who you are. Because what happens is when we start to feel failure or get worried or whatever, let the fear come in. And we've talked about this a billion times. You start looking outward. Oh my God, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do the other. Thinking all these outward things are going to make you successful. If I do, and I made a comment in our last episode, I don't be, I do, right? I don't be, I have to focus on the be, right? So success comes from the heart. When you are who you are, without pretense, without disguise, that is true success. When you accept yourself completely, to say when you trust yourself, right? When you accept yourself completely, the rest will follow. And this is a conversation we've had a billion times about foundation. Early on when we began to develop uniquely, and again, oh my God, I need to do this, and this. I'm like, focus on you, focus on your foundation, focus on being the best version of yourself. You will see it will ripple out to other things. Yeah. When you are the best version of yourself, your relationship with your children is amazing. Your relationship with your husband is amazing. Your relationship with your friends, your business relations, things show up. It sounds mystical and magical. It's not. When we become the truest version of ourselves, ultimately the best version of ourselves, but the truest version of ourselves. That's why Going Commando is so important, right? Because we're saying like I have a mouth of a truck driver. Like I can't remember the last time I wore shoes unless I was forced to in public. Like, again, you don't know if I'm wearing pants. Like I'm seriously a bit of an asshole. But I am the truest version of myself, and I somehow trip onto success regularly.
Yeah.
Success, whatever it is you look at, you know what I mean? However you look at success. And so when we do that, and we remember every time we're trying to go, oh, I have to do this and I have to push that, and I come back to square one. What feels good? What do I want? What can I do in this moment to make myself feel better? And you will watch success happen all around you as a result of your foundation of success. So that's my sermon.
And to that point, because you were talking about how you're living in your success every single day. And when I think about it, like, where were we? 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Yep. I'm just looking at the
2 years ago. Look at the imaginary calendar.
Imaginary calendar, because I see it. What are we in? We're in April, right? So it's over here, 2021. Go ahead.
April 2021. I was still working my full-time job. This uniquely was a dream that I was like, I'm going to make this whole school university. And I was like, I had like 20 people that we were talking to. I was going to go to that Marcom stupid Marsom Award show thing, dumbass thing, but it was served its purpose. And, I was stuck in the job. My job was great. My boss is great and they were wonderful, but it was for somebody else. And I don't want to work creative for somebody else. I want to do it for me,
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, I was dreaming about what the life I'm living right now, being home with my kids in a beautiful house that we own, just beautiful people in my life, no drama, and being creative every single day. So it's not going as lucratively as I like, but everybody's healthy, everybody's safe. My God, Maddie is going to be a filmmaker. We were at Acceptance Students Day yesterday at Purchase College, and she's walking around with her film major sticker on, and I was like, I couldn't be more proud. Like the hardest thing there, and I was like, I'm so proud of her because she got into this school. All these kids that are in, like they picked 30 kids, and she's meeting them through the social media, and they're like, oh, send me your reel, send me your link, and she's like, I don't have any filmmaking experience. Yet she got into this like really hard BFA program. And I was just like, my kid is amazing. My kid is amazing. Christian is thriving. My husband is amazing. Everything is so great. So I am living in my version of success. I am. And I lost sight of that because I got caught up in the, what does it look like to other people? It doesn't fucking matter.
Yep. And, we have to remind ourselves of that when we get in these tizzies, because I'm definitely the one that always reads the last page of the book first. Like I'm always looking ahead. I understand to be in the moment and I have gratitude for being in the moment, but I'm always like, want to take a peek,
Yeah.
And, but I mean, I'm not going to go through my whole story, but if we flash back April 2021, actually it was today, April 3rd, we're filming this today, the 3rd. Yeah. I had COVID. I only remember because my husband's birthday is April 5th. That's the only reason why I remember the date. Like, it wasn't like, you know what I mean?
No, don't explain your Rain Man this. You have a
yeah, I'm total Rain Man. I lived on the 5th floor. He lived up there. No, I'm just kidding. But I had COVID, and all I wanted before the COVID, obviously, because when I had COVID, all I wanted to was, be able to breathe.
Better.
But April 2021, I just wanted to figure out a way to communicate just the shit that I know, the shit that I love, my creativity, right? And, the gallery was doing well. I had just had ChakraCon, I just wrote a children's book, and that was 2 years ago. Since then, I have written 2 books. I had not yet invested financially in the company.
Nope.
I had then invested financially in the company, and so much has happened. And so it's easy now to go, but when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? But if I just flash back a year or two, go, oh my God, look what I've done. And again, that's another card in here somewhere. It's called Take Stock. Yeah. We don't take enough time to stop and take a look at where we were. So when we're in these tizzies, if we could find one quick moment of clarity, take a breath, say, okay, what do I want? Do I have that? Right? What do I want? I want freedom. Do I have that? Well, I don't go to a 9-to-5er. Well, you know what I mean? I got up when I felt like today. Well, and when we take stock, and all of a sudden we start to get our ability to reason, get reason back. And then we do that. And then we say, okay, well, what do I want that I don't have? This. Okay. Now, how do I get there?
Yes. Yeah.
All it takes is a little bit of reason and logic. And, good luck with it.
Reason and logic. And then my parting word is for myself is to really try to recognize that oh shit moment. Because the oh shit moment, that little thing that happened last week with the platform, right? And it fucked me up because I was like, everything's broken, everything sucks. It was the crack, and it got through. And if I can learn in that moment to recognize that little coming up, get the weed killer.
Right.
So, but hey, living here to tell another day. Today's a really good day. So
yeah, we're back out, right? I just want to close with something that I wrote in 10 Rex. I was like, we don't just pee our pants, right? We don't just pee our pants. We're like, oh, I think I have to pee. And then we ignore it because we have other things to do, or we're distracted, right? And then we have to pee a little bit more. And we do a little dance, and then we hold it or whatever. And then all of a sudden, one sneeze, and you wet your pants, right? But you don't just wet your pants. There was like a whole string of cues that you had to pee. You're irritated, right? You don't even realize you're walking funny, right? There's this whole string of things. But when you sneeze, you think the sneeze is the problem. The sneeze is that's a catalyst to the wet in your pants. I know, again, I'm very eloquent. I wrote it in a book. But when you recognize the first time you have to pee, I taught my children at a very young age because I was tired of them peeing themselves at Home Depot because we couldn't get to the bathroom fast enough. I'm like, I'm like, you have to be aware when you have to pee, you have to assign a number to it from 1 to 10. Is it a 3? If it's a 3, we don't have to go searching for a bathroom. But as soon as you hit 5, we got to look for a bathroom. You can't tell me at 9 you have to pee, but we're like 4 miles from a gas station in the car. But it's the same thing for things that create tension. If we become aware of our bodies and when we carry tension, we all carry it differently. Grind your teeth, or, ball your fists, whatever it is. When you realize, oh, I'm edgy, just okay, take a breath.
Yes.
What's causing me this? And that's what Angela's saying. Angela wouldn't have totally spun out if she had recognized when she was a 3. But instead at 11, she's like, I can't.
Forget it. Get my right here together.
So anyway, that's the pearl I think that we want to close with. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just take a breath and just constantly check in with yourself. What do I need? Do I have everything I need? How do I get there?
Yes.
And all is good in the hood.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. So with that, peace out, people. We'll see you next week, or talk to you next week, or whatever the heck we're doing here.
Yeah. Angela, go put on some pants, man. You are bare and all.
Woo!
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye.
This episode is brought to you by Uniquely Phenom Collaboration. To learn about our tools and resources designed for creators by creators, go to uniquelyphenom.com.